sticking to their guns because it works for them. They are the best Icebox team in the world. I think it's fair to just outright say that the way they play this map is impeccable. They were pioneering, playing the Killjoy here, flanks are excellent, and the fans coming through thus far, it's the same. Breeze and Bind gone. This is the same as every time.
Yeah, and it actually always leads to a free win for FNATIC.
Yeah.
FPX is consistently
Icebox.
trying to get you know, something that works against this behemoth of a comp from FNATIC, and nothing works. They tried your route, and doesn't work at all. It's really hard for me to see this going any other way.
Yeah, and we do actually get Haven as that first one for FPX, but this is another map that we've seen a few times across this team. However, in this tournament, FPX has been looking fairly solid here. I think it's an all-right pick for them going on in, but Icebox being that solid ground, I would still expect Ascent to be that final map. So even if FPX can pull something off on Haven, they still need to best their demons on one of those two maps.
It does feel like you said, Vala, the Icebox, usually if you leave it open for FNATIC, so far in Stage 2, it has been a free win. But Haven and Ascent, I think it's kind of leaning more FPX's way.
Yeah, I would think so. I always find FNATIC has a strong Haven, but yeah, you might be right here. Ascent definitely historically has been going FPX's way, even though FNATIC has played really good on that map in the past and kind of pioneered a little of what FPX does on that map. Maybe they kind of did it at the same time.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I agree with you.
What about you, Mimi?
I am still of the opinion that I think, especially considering that they are playing with a sub coming in towards this pool, just map 1 and 3 are so good for FNATIC. I really don't see a world where FPX can beat them on Icebox. This team is impeccable there. FPX have tried so many different ideas. None of them have worked with a substitute as well. I don't see them finding something new. And Ascent, well, we've seen better stuff from FPX there. I still just have a lot of faith in the way that FNATIC plays on that map. I would expect this to go this direction, and I think it's even possible for FNATIC to 2-0 here. Haven is not a bad map for them in any regard.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I like that. Lukewarm take, I feel like. Maybe a lukewarm take.
It was the complete
The
opposite of what
soft-hitting
we said.
analysis.
But thank you guys for now. We're going to take a quick break, but don't worry, you guys are home. We're going to be right back with the Agent Select. All right, everybody, this is it. It's time to bring out the top 2 seeds from EMEA. It's FNATIC and FPX. This EMEA rivalry stretches back to the dawn of Valorant. They face each other 8 times, but this is the first time on LAN. Like you said, Vala, this could change everything. It has not been favorable for FPX so far, but FNATIC, they haven't faced the LAN FPX, and they look better here, even with a sub.
Yeah, and they haven't played on LAN at all yet. Usually they do start very strong, but this is a different iteration, and the stakes are different as well. They're already in playoffs. It's a double elimination bracket, and they're fighting for champions. All 3 EMEA teams are in a race, so this head-to-head means so much for Istanbul.
An absolutely massive game here, and again, the pressure has got to be on for FNATIC. People have been heralding them as one of the favorites coming into this event. They have looked fantastic online, but a lot of new players here on LAN, and FPX, they have been through the ringer. So many close matches, so many overtimes here on this very stage. They are ready for this one, even if the past hasn't favored them.
And the start is perfect for them, right? They get to play Icebox as the first game on LAN. I don't think they would have wanted to play any other map. Teams have in the past been criticized for leaving it open for them. Do you guys feel the same about FPX? Should they have given them bind and not let them play Icebox?
I think so. I mean, every time these teams play, Icebox gets let through. FNATIC picks it first. They win it dominantly. Again, FPX have tried different ideas, have yet to find that solution. I know they have faith in their coaching staff and in their leader in Way of Angel to find an improvement, a new idea to shut this down. But I just think FNATIC is so damn good on Icebox that you're better to face them elsewhere.
I absolutely think it's a mistake to leave Icebox in the map pool. Bind for FNATIC has been great as well, but but it's somewhere I think that it's still explored. We haven't even seen it that much from them because teams aren't taking it against them at all.
And it speaks even more volumes to how good they are on this map because there's so much tape of them playing it. And it is the same comp, a pretty similar style every time. They play their Killjoy in mid, they flank on the defensive side. It's incredibly similar, but no one has shut it down.
Well, we're into the Prime Gaming Agent Select here. Of course, this is the first time Cider will be playing Icebox with FPX, so I'm interested to see. Okay, he's gone in with a Viper, which is something they've run before already. So far, oh no, okay, throw everything out the window. This is the 19th comp we're gonna see out of FPX, and Angel is moving on to the Fade.
Oh, an interesting one. Fade Raze on Icebox. I think a few teams have toyed with this before, but we've never seen a full commitment. I think it's really solid. A lot of close corners on this map. You can get value out of that tether, especially with the defensive-sided start. And I love Zipan on Raze. He's been fantastic thus far. And
I think that it's really difficult to get value out of Fade Raze on this map against FNATIC, so it's going to be interesting to see how exactly they do that because their FNATIC comp is very slow on their approach and meant to bait out utility.
Well, let's see if FPX are well prepared this time against FNATIC's Icebox, and it's time to jump into game with your casters, Mitchman and Tombiz.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. Tom, this is a matchup we've seen a couple of times in the past.
Welcome back to Challengers 2 EMEA. We're going to have FPX facing off against FNATIC. We've not seen this one other than the 3 times we've seen it already this season.
I'll say though, it feels a little different seeing Boaster striking a pose on the stage, seeing Angel on the other side.
Giving him evil eyes.
We always knew he was giving those evil eyes, but now we got to see it in person. I mean, this is a matchup that we really couldn't ask for a better, more rich in story game between these two players. Boaster used to look up to this man, wanted to be nothing more than probably the second Angel, not even to take his title, but to come close. And now, well, the stats say it all. 5-3 is the historical score. Does FNATIC open up here and look to claim a 6th?
Yeah, well, 0-3 for FPX on this map over the last couple of months. It is not the greatest place to try and take this one. Durka showing why he is an absolute demon to kick things off, but Angel actually manages to trade that out fairly well.
No further aggression to come through. You can see the attempt with the Headhunter, but that wall's going to slow them down on the A site completely as FPX stall out and hold their angles, waiting for FNATIC to make their next move. It seems to be Boaster trying to sneak in through middle and catch a little bit of a backstab on some of these players, very much still based around this A play. And Boaster's got to stay alive to keep that wall activated for the team as they cross the site and look to deal with Xiao all by himself. You can see that coming down right about now. This is the last pulse of Toxins coming through as they look to burst their way onto the site.
Boaster's luck is fantastic. It's just free. So easy for him to get that kill. It just seemed like the timing couldn't have worked out any better, and now you're looking at the retake being attempted. This is very far away as well. It's still just about making that rotation through, and Cider, he should be ready to check this, but he isn't going to win that battle either.
Very nicely handled. You see the plan, and well, really no road bumps for them in the execution of it. Everything went exactly as they'd hoped for, and now Artis has to be the man to make a change. 6 bullets in that Headhunter, and 4 targets to find. None of them really tagged up to make this that much easier, and now he's being spotted. Time against him, and absolutely no chance. At least he saved most of those Headhunter bullets for the next round, where they'll hope to do some damage.
Yeah, a little bit of a silver lining, of course, for FPX. From what we're hearing, hopefully the full roster will be back for the next one, which might make for a very exciting conclusion to this tournament for FPX. But the fact is, in this matchup, they already came in as a team trying to prove they can beat FNATIC. But before anything went wrong, they were already an underdog in this match. So we're definitely going to have to focus on players like Alfia. We know, as said, Durka absolute demon on LAN. Like, everything you've seen online, like be it the, I think, #2 in ACS, bear in mind the #1 was Alfia. I think he's up there with ADR, kills per round, first kills, pretty much any stat you can name. He's up there with it. Damn. I know it's only an eco, but just farming up towards that tour de force, Mitch.
That's the crisp shots. You got to write home about them. I like that Angel still went for that orb, even though he got slowed down and challenged. They were looking at a heavy fight with the pistols, but no success so far. And like I said, the idea here being that FPX don't stand that much of a chance in the fights, but they wanted to do damage, and they've gotten 2 kills already. Sure, they're not likely to win this even still, but
how is Xiao getting
kills?
They
just keep on finding these frags. That's a disaster. FNATIC have paid a heavy cost for this. And Alpha survived on 5 HP. There was a chance that they lose this round, but even what they got out with isn't really that much of a victory.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of overconfidence versus the Pistols, because, yeah, coming out of 3 kills, it's not great. I do think it's Alpha as well. We know where Champions is going to be already, of course, and if he manages to make it there, which FNATIC are not in a bad spot, it definitely seems like a 3-horse race with Guild, especially now being in that lower bracket. These are the 2 teams that lead the way, but, you know, things can change within a tournament. Lower bracket runs have happened many a time. But him making it to Turkey would be huge.
They were trying to stop anybody getting aggressive on the rope, but it's down below that FPX are pushing up. Artis already coming around the corner of bottom nest, and he's able to grab one in the chaos. Zipan manages to take Alpha Air as well and put them into a huge position. FNATIC, they don't really have much to recover on these, that Headhunter being one of the tools they have at their disposal, and it only gets the one before being traded out. Altogether, a very clean follow-up by FPX. They've given them practically nothing.
Yeah. 1 player down. I like the compositional change as well coming out of FPX, because again, when you're playing with a stand-in, I feel like there's already going to be holes within your comp. I think giving Zipan the chance to explode onto the map. Like, I still think it was a Reyna, but I still think one of the highest ACS we ever had in EMEA was him getting over, I think it was like 528 ACS on Reyna. So giving him the agent where I feel like he is the most comfortable and can be the most aggressive, it gives them more of a chance of winning a map that ultimately playing their old comp with a weakened player, well, they couldn't do it with Saigetsu, so why would they be able to do it with Saido?
That's exactly it, right? Oh, okay, little reveal attempt. And it does not deter Artis. Even after the initial plan doesn't work, he says, I'll stick around and just see if I can grab one. And that he does. Mystic down. Playing this map without a Sage Wall is pretty tough. Losing that right at the start of your buy round when your money's on the line, it's not what FNATIC wanted to see here. They need someone to pull this back and deal a blow to FPX in turn.
Yeah, if there was anyone to do it, probably would be Durka with the tour de force, but not going to be connecting. Ground held, at least for now, by the side of FPX. A lurk of Alfia are also not going to be really gifted anything thus far in the attacking side, and just trying to slow things down a little bit. But the rotation's starting to come through from FPX. 3 players already, a 4th player in Zipan, and it's because of the aggressive position that's currently being held by Artis. They might have this stacked up.
They're leaving themselves the opening to go back here on FNATIC, though. The fact that Alfier isn't moving, and now we're starting to see Boaster come back to middle. It's all about how this space goes. If they decide to take it straight through the tube underneath, or attempt to wrap around through the A side. But with 20 seconds left, there's no choice anymore. B is the only option. And they're even splitting up. They've got to win some of these duels, and Zipan's already seeming to put a stop to this plan. Back yellow not cleared. It's hard to imagine a plant even comes down. The rotations are in play, and they still haven't even spotted Cider. So that round is going to be tied up neatly in a bow for FPX.
Yeah, I'm liking the start of these rounds coming out from FPX. As I said, like, they've switched up to a composition which allows them to be more aggressive. Like, normally Zipan was playing the likes of a Sova, so you wouldn't have seen him play some of those more forward spots. But starting things off with these sort of aggressive picks, that you have to bear in mind, a lot of the time on this map in particular, you're going to see FNATIC getting those first kills. If you could deny that, slow the pace down, the adaptation wasn't really there in that round. They were hoping for the picks, and FPX were happy to play patient and wait and just work that 5v4.
That's exactly it, showing that patient face very early on the defense. I wonder what FNATIC are going to do this time around with so little to work with. Durka coming in, a Guardian in his hands.
Bring them down.
Be able to drop that to his teammates, of course, if he goes down. Obviously, the benefit of having the Headhunters, the cost, but you don't want to leave your teammates with just those shares.
I do like that he's got all the Headhunter bullets and he's playing the Guardian. It just shows the reliance they have on this man to find entries. That's just like, it's better him having 2 guns and me having 0.
So there you go. Durka goes down. Now you've got that weapon to be recovered as they push back through. It's made its way into Enzo's hands, but as of yet, not even finding the chance to fire a shot. Numbers are being thinned out. Another to fall. This leaves the spike in the open, and Enzo's being spotted now in the corner. The nade hunting him down, and Zipan's bullets, the one to execute him.
They're already looking. Look at where Xiao's crosshair placement right now. He's already watching. Cider starting to close us in. They're so ready for whatever Boaster is attempting. He's tried this in a couple of rounds now, and a Prime Gaming Flawless out from FPX. Their economy is looking pretty damn good at the moment, Mitch, and 3 rounds already on the defense. Not bad. Yeah,
I think you just see them be hyper vigilant about not giving away those picks. A lot of this early play has been Durka out looking to try and grab somebody, and they haven't been able to find those. FPX's patience not leading into any overextensions, into any silly pushes. And so for FNATIC, I feel like they almost come in here hoping that in these couple of rounds that they'll see those mistakes, that FPX won't be refined, won't be polished, but that's not what they're seeing. Now I expect we'll see some changes, certainly with this timeout called. It is the right moment for FNATIC to reflect and change things up.
One other thing to mention at the moment, Artis obviously off to a flying start. I feel like maybe some of the opposition he hasn't played isn't up to the exact strength of a team like FNATIC, but in comparison to, say, even just his seasonal stats, number 2 in ADR in this tournament so far, number 2 in ACS in this tournament so far, 4th in KD, which considering how aggressive you're going to be on the likes of a Chamber, really not bad, number 1 in kills per round. So the fact that he's off to a flying start is a very, very good sign within this map. But also Xiao. I feel like Xiao has... Actually, I know that Xiao has won the most clutches in this tournament thus far. 8 out of 25. I think the only person who beat him percentage-wise at the beginning of the day was actually Safe. So, which I'll be honest, that was the one that surprised me more.
Yeah, maybe. But look, when you go back to that game that we saw... Even just the other day, like, Xiao's clutches have not been easy clutches. They've not been like, oh yeah, he's in a couple 1v2s and he's doing pretty well. It's like 1v4s against some of the best teams, and this guy's pulling out just utterly unbelievable shot after shot. Definitely a player we'll be keeping an eye on throughout this series, and I'm sure we'll see lots from him. Already, Dirk has been spotted to start this round off, trying to get aggressive on B. The surprise factor certainly not there in Cider, but he's jump spotting away, but Artis has the bait. It's the whole idea. They'll see Cider, they'll think that they're free, and then Artis can grab at least one off the side angle.
He's been everywhere so far. Like, we've most rounds seen him pushing on A. You can see how passive they're being on the A side of the map, just wary of where Artis can be, and then now trying to set him up in position to find the kill, and there's Durkagon again. He's had so many impactful openers so far. And while there is the res online for Mystic if they can get him back into position, but Artis hasn't left.
Oh, so cheeky. The second the snake bites fired, Cider's peeking, knowing he can catch maybe someone with the weapon out, or one less player staring at him. Artis on another. Spike dropped. And this round seems to be done. 4 ultis in play for FPX, and they haven't had to use a single one. Barely breaking a sweat until Enzo steps up. It's more than enough players to take him down. Tom, the scary thing in looking at how that round unfolded, FNATIC almost like walking through a minefield in that early map control. They're so worried about every angle that FPX can be on, and that's exactly why.
Well, this is normally why you have the drone go through this position, just so that something like that can't happen. But because of the aggression on A every single round, they've probably utilized it elsewhere. It just didn't really get put into position, and that is now, what, 3rd, 4th round in a row where Artis has been able to get an early pick, get out of there. And even though he's being used as bait in a lot of these positions, Cider's them reacting off of it. Team play from, as said, the stand-in of the squad, it's looking really good from FPX so far.
It absolutely is. Performing well and above what we expected from them starting things out, but it is still early days. This defense got a weak buy up against them, but still some facets to it that are strong. Durka dealt with right away. Artis has been convincingly winning those duels. But the weapon comes around the corner to trade. A tag dealt by the Marshal. And now we kind of end up in more even territory. This is not as clean from FPX to start with, and with the numbers even as they are, and the info of players around mid, you definitely want to get a little bit more information. That ult should get it for them.
Yeah, I guess they assumed they were a lot further up. Instead, they're actually going to utilize the res, bring another back. Boaster will trade at least onto Cider, which gives them some space, but the spike's down. And defending this is going to be impossible. They are ready for every single lurk that has been made so far in this game. I think the only round where Boaster managed anything was in the pistol.
A little recon bounce drew the crosshair for a second. Gave Boaster the advantage he needed to take Angel down, but they're still way behind. So great pivots by FPX, great awareness. They've lost the spike now. Xiao looks to retake that control. He's gone down. 17 and 25 HP, Tom. And the position of Artis, it's near perfect. Does the drone clear him? Not in time. He's around the back of yellow. He's seen one. There's the second. It's clean as can be. Artis with another impeccable round.
They've got to start getting frustrated now. I don't think there's been a round so far in this game where Artis hasn't caught a kill by being in a position that FNATIC haven't expected. He has been an absolute menace thus far in this half. 10-3 at the top of the board. And most importantly, I feel like he's been completely chamber diffing Durka, which if you'd asked me that at the beginning of this game, I would have called you crazy. I think we even spoke about it at the beginning of the tournament. The players that we were looking at, we're looking at Ye, we're looking at Durka. I think Buzz was the third one, and you have Artis asking the questions like, "Guys, I don't even make the list. I'm not even in the list." Well, he's making a case.
That he is. That he is. You know, I spoke to him before the game, and he did ask me who I thought would win. I did say, you know, hey, if you had 5. We'd have the discussion, but man, I mean,
if you had 5,
any team
still probably would have said FNATIC. But
yeah, I still would have, but you know, and he wasn't too happy with that. But you know,
so if FNATIC lose, is your fault.
Why have I said
you
that
angered
to you,
the beast.
Yeah.
You have angered the beast. Well, either way, lockdown in position. Sider's actually sticking around to try and fight this one. If he gets another one here, okay, more than enough damage done. 2 kills. Lockdown hasn't really even given them the space. C's thrown over, and he's dropped Mystic as well. That's a bigger problem. They now have to put in that Viper's Pit just to get the plant.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that Viper's Pit not giving them the same security. Nade's already pushed them off the plant. But Boaster's managed to sneak his way under the site. Still, you got to be able to hold on to this control once they go for the plant, and the sprays can even come through. Zip and blast packing. That's going to cancel at the start with another through. That could be the kill.
30 seconds left.
He's letting it wait out for just a moment. Now spraying and taking Enzo. And although Boaster finds another, the 1v3 is going to be difficult, dropping the wall, but Artis is ready, of course. 6-2, and FPX coming out with a point to prove.
Oh, that was so good from Zipan, but it's actually Cider again. I feel like a broken record, but how many times now have FPX made a play which FNATIC aren't expecting? They're not reading into these risks that are being taken, because it is a risk. If he doesn't find anyone on the other side here, he's just stuck in a lockdown and instantly dead. But getting rid of both Althea and Mystic with a slightly more aggressive position, then you have Zipan just being a little bit cheeky with the blast packs. And right now, well, 6 rounds in a row for FPX on the defensive side. The only rounds FNATIC have taken are pistol and second.
That's exactly what you need as well, throwing those little curveballs in. You know, oh, okay. Throwing in a nade to Zipan to catch Althea right away. This is a round where FNATIC aren't really coming in with anything. You know, they're trying to make their pistols work early on, but I didn't quite expect the nade to be the thing to open it. It's nice and easy, thinning out the herd. And this time around, it's Mystic, Guardian in hand, Durka rocking the Headhunter, and Sheriffs all around. Good chances, some decent damage. But in fights where they don't have the numbers advantage, it is very much going to be that, tickling up a player and then going down. Most of the time.
A wall already being spammed. Zipan is going to get tagged by the drone. The spike not even getting close to making it to the site. They're hoping that maybe they can find a pick along the way. I think the timing's gone completely wrong, but a nice shot from Mystic. Trying to get a second, but it won't be happening. And now Enzo, last man standing. He won't even get the chance to pull out his weapon. 7 on the board now for FPX, 4 alive. Economy about as good as it can be, really. And if there's not a response here from FNATIC, I think this half is already over.
A very surprising thing. You know, we heard it from the analyst desk, and I very much echoed what they were saying. Having this icebox in, like, sure, you're going to be taken out Bind against FNATIC. I mean, we heard even in the interview earlier for Benkai, like, yeah, we knew that our opponents were going to ban Bind. No one's brave enough to play us on that except for maybe FNATIC. That's known at an international level. So sure, we can say FPX made a good call by taking it out. But knowing that icebox is in the pool, then it almost plays as like a free map for FNATIC. You look at it and you think, well, that's a win. And FPX will have to reverse sweep in. But they are starting this out looking, I mean, it was pistol, follow-up, and 7 straight rounds with no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, the scary thing as well is Althea, one of the number 1, number 2 players so far in EMEA. He's not on the board yet. Pressure was something that was mentioned, especially when even hearing just about the walkouts, but right now we're yet to see the demon, which we saw within regional play. I'm sure FPX are more than happy with that, but a faster take this time, Mitch. They're right into A.
Oh yes, upping the pace from FNATIC. Spikes around left side here after walling it off. Looks like they're going to be grabbing that plant through. It's secured. Nano for post plant and falling back. They've got a Hunter's Fury to play with. Shock darts. Still a snake bite on Boaster, so a ton of post plant utility and ability. But FPX have got themselves set up for this retake, and the Showstopper's going to garner a lot of space.
That Durka's already gone as well. Nightfall sent out to give them the information, sprinting through. Boaster, though, is going to come up with a double. It might just bring them back into this round. The spray is going to leave it into a 2 versus 2. Alfie are on the board, and maybe that's the fire he needed. 2 kills already in this round, and Artis, he needs something quickly. Maybe just make it costly on the way out, at least reduce the economy FNATIC will have. But after a long hiatus, 7 rounds in a row, it will be FNATIC back on the board.
They took their time, Tom, that's for sure, and it's a very different strategy, a big pace change from them, and like I said, they had a ton, because of the way that they sped up the round, they didn't have to play as aggressive in some of these positions because they had such heavy post-plant utility still online. But Boaster in that corner, I almost imagine that's because of the amount of post-plant utility. You're like going in, you're showstoppering, you're seeing no one up close, no one behind the box. You're thinking, okay, well, they are actually just way back. This is FNATIC after all. They're going to just run the clock down, and then boom, guy on the side gets that double, and your round is, it's not even in jeopardy. It's over at that point.
Well, it seems like they might have taken a leaf out of the G2 book of playing Icebox. A-site works, let's give it another go. Making their way in that direction. This time Artis is going to be in position. They managed to avoid him in the previous round, which has been a rarity. He has been a terror. Already, though, Alpha here is going to step up. As I said, he had 0 kills in the first few rounds, already getting them an entry in this one. Back into a 4 versus 4. Alpha back on spot. Well, a retake needed.
They're trying to deal with Artis through the wall. Those shots were pretty close as well. The lockdown is going to buy them so much time unless FPX have something to deal with it. It doesn't look like they do. Push out of Artis. Of course, he can TP. He'll get out of there safely enough as well. So no players detained, but it is just about that clock. The amount of time ran down. The Hunter's Fury watching the back.
Expect him. This is such a nasty position for Boaster. He's even more aggressive than the last round. It seems like he's looking to lead by example. The last 2 rounds, garnered 2 double kills. Still trying to spot Xiao, who's on his way out, and finally Boaster's going to close it. We were talking about the battle of Durka, the battle of Alfia facing off against Artis. Maybe we forgot this man for once because he is having a game now.
We did again hear it from the analyst desk. This guy on LAN, when he's in a squad, he just hits another level. And Boaster saw it in the previous round, seeing it here. The same stuff we wrote home about for Artis, the positional advantages he's getting, some of the duels he's online in. It's looked gorgeous, and FNATIC had so many things to fall back on there again, even if any of these things go wrong. Enzo won the fight behind. They had post-plant Hunter's Fury locked down. They still had a bunch of utility. I think a Nano may be online as well. So no issues in that round right there. And having 2 back-to-back rounds now where they go A, faster pace, get their post-plant, and have no trouble holding out against the retake, that is now putting FPX in a point where, yeah, they got to call a timeout and figure this out.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, you don't want to have such a commanding half, 7 rounds in a row, and then it ends 7-5. Like, that would just be almost bittersweet, because normally, I'll be honest, in the first half, they do get blown out of the water. That's the way they normally goes on Icebox. But you don't want to give FNATIC away back in. You never want to give, especially not on this map. If you can steal Icebox away, this series is wide open. This series even leans in FPX's favor, which is madness, considering they are still playing with that stand-in. Now, they've got a Viper's Pit going into this round on either side. That Hunter's Fury you mentioned a couple of rounds ago still sits. And, well, Durka has a tour de force if he needs it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Coming into the last round, you're going to be throwing these things in. You're going to be using your tour de force, even just to have it in your back pocket.
Oh, why not?
Last couple seconds here on the clock as we see this final round of the half play out. It's going to be Cider right away popping this Viper's Pit now. We knew this has been online for a little while. Controlling the A site like this, though, that is an absolutely massive laneway lockdown. I'm not sure that FNATIC can be happy with letting him just sit there, but... Oh!
Okay.
Well, that'll do it, yep. That'll do it for you. Gonna kind of say it's hard
just
to get value
in his back
and
pocket,
take it.
yeah.
Yep, but that'll work.
That's the thing, and now this A-site hold becomes a lot more dangerous. Because the whole point of having a second player there, you can watch if anybody tries to go over the top or tries to bypass the Viper's Pit and get onto the site. Well, that player's not there anymore. So they may even have to rotate a second player into position. You can see that they have actually managed to get themselves an extra orb. So Xiao, a single kill here, may actually be able to bring Angel back online.
And that pit from up top as well. Cider's content with holding it himself for now with that mid play out of Zipan, which means Zipan getting a little earlier. Great prediction. Hitting him with the drone, following him all the way to the spawn and taking him down. Ult coming into play. It has made it all the way across, so it'll give them room to plant, and Xiao decaying as time goes on. Zipan, the sneaky play up behind him. Absolutely no idea. He didn't even see the second man. Clean as can be. The spike is theirs, and Zipan's on for 3.
20 seconds left as well for Enzo. Spike down in a horrific position, and Cider's reposition is sublime. He's just going to hold on to that cross. FPX, it looked like a round that was going into Fnatic's favor, but they're going to take this half 8-4, Mitch.
An impressive half. 7 in a row. They stopped Fnatic from getting that extra foothold at the end, so not really having a safety net for a pistol loss in next half. And some really strong resurgences from players on Fnatic in some of those rounds. Definitely some spots of hope, but I'm not sure, Tom. This is a much stronger start for FPX than I expected.
Well, we're looking like we're seeing a peak FPX right now. I'm curious to see what the desks thinks, because is this going to be the first loss on Icebox for Fnatic?
You know what, Tom and Mitch, it might just be FPX. They look great, but we have to just start right in with the elephant in the room. Alpha, his debut on LAN, probably one of the more underwhelming ones we've seen out of the players we've been hyping up about.
Yeah, it has been a tough game for Alpha, to say the least. It was so long in this game. I believe the first 9 rounds not being able to crack a single kill, a massive decrease from what his expectations that have been set online. But it's kind of a question of, should this have been expected out of him? Because he has such a high bar set for him, and we have never even seen him in a LAN event. He is still such a new player, and there is so much pressure on him right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has yay-level expectations heading into this event, and he's never played a LAN. So, and the crazy part too is I don't necessarily think that this is going to stick. He got, 3 kills at the end of the half, started playing a little bit better, but I also think that the second half is going to be better for him too. Defensively, this is where this comp is better for his agent, right? And also better for the way that FPX was playing against him. They got so many good util combos on him, and it was the best implementation of Fade Raise that I've seen on this map that makes it really, really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I was so incredibly impressed with how they were playing this composition. The way that they were setting up mid without a killjoy was excellent with that Fade, constantly re-clearing with those cats to hold on to the space. The Sage helping out in that regard as well. On top of that, just Zipan having excellent performance on the Raze. However, like you said, Fnatic is a lot better on their defense. The comp befits it, and I think we saw that moment from Alpha where the confidence looked like maybe just a little bit more was injected on in. It's going to be difficult, but there's certainly a chance to turn this around.
Yeah, after that round, Fnatic strung through it 2 more. I mean, it was a massive streak from FPX, and they take the last round too. This is going to be a little bit more difficult though, and Durka has to lead the way. He has to continue to perform as he did to start this game.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, Boaster just needs to keep with this performance. He had some massive clutches. He was keeping the team's mental in check, keeping them on top. There's still a chance for Fnatic in this one.
Yeah, a Fnatic copium here on the desk. What do you guys think, Mitch and Tom, as we head back into the second half?
Well, I'd say there's no way to predict this after giving 3 minutes to Doom Bros and Mini to discuss how this half is going to play out. The mind games are about to commence, Tom. Fnatic, they're behind though, and I think they need this pistol.
Yeah, this is the moment where, again, you expect that duo on the Fnatic side to really come alive. Durka is going to be pushing the boundaries of the map the same way we saw from Ardis, and this head-to-head could be everything. Maybe aiming a little bit lower there. Durka is going to find that open onto Ardis, and they're going to keep this control. Deep within B, a little fall off, but leaving Mystic behind, and still having that retake wall already set up on A if they need it.
The Ardis Durka duels have certainly been fun to watch. Coming out relatively even, I feel like. I don't know what the numbers are directly, but
I'd lean it slightly Ardis' way.
Yeah. Well, here we go with 50 seconds on the clock. FPX are going to get that plant down. FPX under a little bit of pressure from the util, luckily avoiding those shock darts. If that was a little bit lower, of course, it's to catch him in the corner or behind the wall. So a good off-position plant from FPX.
That seems like they were more than ready. This could be big, though. Recon going through. If it's not broken in time, they'll have pretty much all the information hiding underneath. They've been spotted. A little bit of damage done, and Xiao comes out on top, but they don't spot Enzo. He is eventually cleared, though. Back into a 2v2 scenario. Mystic, Alfia already finding one. Wall trying to section him off. And while Alfia, what was it, 3 kills in the first half? I think he might be back.
Yep, he's just doubled up right here. I mean, the wind in his sails and the pistol round in FNATIC's back pocket. Exactly what they needed to make up for a pretty abysmal first half. This is their map pick. This is somewhere I expected to see a decent attack out of them, and it barely scraped by with 4 rounds on the pistol. Let's hope that's not the same this time around, Tom. It's rare you see a team win both pistols and still be this far behind.
Yeah, it's almost the unfortunate truth of FPX is they could have basically 10-2'd that half if it wasn't for the fact that they lost the pistol, and now that lifeline garnered up by the side of FNATIC. Gonna be a bit of an investment here for FPX. Some Sheriffs, we've seen how deadly those can be. Headhunter as well for Artis, and he's going straight for the mid-fight! Alfia is already gone in this round. An instant start. And while we mentioned the battle of these chambers being ever fierce, but Alfia unfortunately has bitten the bullet this time.
Caught in the crossfire a bit. I'm not surprised Artis is going out for those opening duels with the success that he's had so far in this game. His chamber's certainly looking on point, and I guess a point to prove after previous round. Mid opened, and obviously you're seeing the alarm bot there, but it's not covering anything with Alfia dead. It's a big, big gap in the info game for FNATIC, and it's being made up for pretty much by Durka in this incredibly aggressive position, sitting up on top of pipes, and it was looking good for a while because, well, FPX were looking at the B side. There was a lot of movement around there, but now, Tom, things are coming back. So Durka is going to get this challenge. He's got a TP to get out. Enzo, in fact, no, not going to be the first point of contact. It's Mystic. But it comes down to Durka. If they clear him, oh no, look, the rotates are coming through. There's 2 players. That's going to be the distraction. I doubt they even check.
30 seconds.
Oh my god, he goes up and actually just about manages to get away. 25 seconds left on the clock, and Mystic just playing on the edge. The second they run through, it's all too easy, trying to deny the player stealing the orb as well. But already this round is looking like it might be over. They need a couple of kills here, and they need it fast. Artis, though, already manages to find one. I think that's Headhuntable. It's gone for Durka, but I think his teammate might have dropped a weapon after he died, and that'll be enough for FNATIC. Still shaky, but it's a 6.
Yeah, it's some good picks, though, coming out of Artis, mid-fight with a Headhunter. Those are things that in this game with these comps you have to write off. You have to say, yeah, sometimes the dude is going to run with a free gun on an eco and headshot me across the map. You know, it's an even fight. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the 100 credits it cost him to win a fight against 3,900 minimum. That's hardware and a weapon, like shields and a weapon. This guy's getting wrecked by 100 credits.
He just got a good deal.
You have to sit back and accept that, yeah, you will just lose. Like, this is RNG. It's going outside and getting hit by a bus. It happens sometimes. You kind of count for it. 8 for the price of 1. Oh, that was getting a little bit close with the nade C's, but it hasn't come in on time, so orb is obtained. FNATIC are out of there. Still, again, looking with what they're playing, you're not imagining that they're going to put up too much of a fight. Really, it's about FPX being cautious, keeping range, and not knee-jerk reacting into a position.
Yeah, I guess the main threat will be Durka and Enzo. Basically the double guardians that we have in play, although one of them is invisible and sits in his pocket. The thing is, though, a slow take, not really any aggression, and especially in a round like this, you kind of expect that. It's the same position held by Durka, but other than that, the rest of the team are just almost waiting, gambling on mid. With the amount of utility already thrown in, you can see the likelihood is there's going to be a little bit of Viper utility just to try and slow them down.
Oh, crossing over here from Boaster. He's got support. 3 players on the rotate to help out. They're stacking up on B. They're calling the gamble. It's what you do when you got a weaker buy, and, well, the jump not quite going to lead to any success. Wall up, plant.
Oh, this wall isn't necessarily going to defend for it, but they go a little bit deeper.
Oh,
good decision is broken, but they can't quite get rid of Xiao. In fact, he is looking like he's going to escape this one eventually. Durka puts him in the grave. 1 kill already. And almost trying to bait them in. Alpha has found another. This is starting to get pretty dangerous as Mystic kills off 1 more. Only 2 players remain. Make it 1. Cider left to try and hold on to this, and they know exactly where he is. He will land the first shot, and Durka's just sticking it halfway already. And he will have to TP back, but he has time to play with, knowing roughly where Cider's going to be. Tries to bait him in, but it's the 4K and Red Bull clutch coming through from the Dane.
That is a necessary one for him as well. He was really left in a bad position. And after a rough enough game yesterday, I'm glad to see Cider showing up like this. It's been phenomenal to watch it. And honestly, FPX at the moment, you can see the work over the last couple of hours.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that, yeah, you can't quite trace the
So-
recon.
sorry,
Trace the
Enzo.
recon. It's okay. Saw it.
He played this really well, though. And an important clutch, because that round could have been the turning point. That would have been 8-7 going into a bye for Fnatic. Instead, well, they're still a few rounds behind, but just look at the bye. It is not pretty on the side of FPX.
Yeah, Fnatic are getting a major benefit for the previous round. Again, we're going to see this out of the attack side. The C's nade. Fnatic avoid it. Durka continues his aggression. Recon going up and over. Durka going to try to follow up and grab a head on the back of it. And he's faced contact, but he's not coming back just yet. Look how much utility he's making these guys burn up now just to try and clear some of these positions.
Yeah, almost trying to keep him in position, try and catch him out while aggressive, but, well, he hasn't been forced to TP, he hasn't even been forced to move, just still sat this far forward, and it means that they can almost play a gamble elsewhere on the map.
You've also got the trap outside B, so it's like he doesn't want to go aggressive and die, because that's both wings of the map. Extremity is gone in terms of information. But single-handedly right now, he's allowing this B retake setup, which in turn allows for a much heavier mid presence out of Fnatic. But there is a lot of vision blocking utility for FPX. They're going to run right under the tube with the wall.
Oh, do they check for outfield? This is such a nasty angle. Nice shot from Zipan, though. The cross being held by Mystic, but they do make it past. Enzo once again takes this battle versus Zipan. And this time will be able to escape. 20 seconds for them to now make it onto the site. They're yet to really get into a position where they can plant. In fact, Mystic, he's going over the top. This is such an obscure angle to be fighting so late in the round. Angel completely caught off, and there's not really a safe place to plant. They have to go for something here. 5 seconds left as they go, and the spike's dropped. It's already done. FPX, it all falls apart from some crazy plays out of Fnatic. I can't believe Mystic just did what he did.
It was unbelievable. Yeah, he sees a wall and he raises it a wall, goes up on top, catches them off.
I thought Jing played earlier today.
You're seeing it right here, right now. And it was necessary, right? Look at FPX. They panic in that moment. They're trying to adapt to players on every angle. They know they need to plant, but no safe ground. No control. They couldn't at any point establish a front lines. These guys were surrounded in that whole fight. And well, it's hard to organize that kind of a hold. FPX going to take a moment now to get themselves organized. They don't want to let Fnatic right back into this one. They are only 2 rounds behind on the defense of their own map pick. Fnatic are definitely not out of this just yet.
No, anything but. And especially with the way that we've already seen the amount of map control they've been able to take, I feel like now FPX have to start challenging for that. You can't allow them to have a deep trap on B and Durka deep on A, fighting you. And that's the thing. They used a lot of utility, and he just kind of stood there and went, cool. Are you going to do anything, though?
Are you going to push?
You're going to fight me? No? All right, I'll just chill. And that's the thing. Even was one of the players rotating in late at the end to hold off the cross. It seemed like Fnatic basically had them trapped like a wild animal. It was just like they're trying to break out of a cage that I didn't even think they knew they were in.
It's a big difference on the previous half. I think FPX now starting to see, at least in that round, some of the issues that can come on the attack once Fnatic are given that free reign. Like we had said, when Fnatic were on the attack, FPX, they took it slow, they kept their control, and it never really felt like they were forced to adapt or put onto that back foot. I'll say forced into an adaptation that they were not already expecting to have to make. They were never lost. But right there, hit a little bit of a brick wall. Now, when Fnatic did that, what got them out of the trouble was straight A rushes. Full control, full pace, and it looks like FPX, well, they're taking at least a page out of that book, maybe not the entirety of it, but they're going to look for a very direct strategy this time around.
Yeah, this is Artist buying a rifle knowing he has Tour de Force in the next round. Interestingly, Durka, I think, has actually popped his while having a rifle, so Operator in on one side, not so much on the other. Information is there, though. They know exactly where these players are. Artist is almost willing them into a peek. Like, this is a rifle he can afford to lose, afford to risk. He wants to fight because the rest of the weaponry they have is just not enough.
Artist really works on those mind games, man. It's just standing there going, okay, come on, peek me. You want to peek me? You want to fight me? Go ahead. I'll take it. The confidence that he has that he'll win them if they overextend like that. But Fnatic are not doing that just now. They're sitting back. They've even used up their wall, got a few shots out of Artist. Know the rifle's close. They know not to mess with it. FPX will look elsewhere, though. It's the B site that's now under threat. Plenty of players coming. Durka misses the first shot. Has that rifle as a backup, as you said, Tom. Tour de force not his only weapon, so he can still deal with numbers when they come his way. That's why he's staying aggressive.
Oh, they're going back.
Splitting through, it seems like we've got every strategy. They're pushing every angle.
Yeah, all the steps are going to be heard by Enzo. The rest of the players actually don't have the weaponry really to fight. Oh, that's not the greatest timing in the world. The thing that really hurts me is that he actually almost got the kill there.
Yep, 20 HP left. I know the heal's going to come through to reset that. FNATIC, it's not an easy retake, but it is only pistols that they're up against, and they've got a res with Enzo back online. Angel's going to try to get the jump. Good kill at least. Reveal through. They know where he is. Oh, hold on!
Whoa, okay.
How was he able to get the second? Just a little lapse in communication there, and by the time they realized, he was already adjusting.
Got a little bit of a shaky around. Luckily for FNATIC, they kind of have enough cash that it's not going to cause them too much of an issue. They made things very costly over the last couple of rounds, but it's definitely not the prettiest of scenarios for them. And now you look at the round that FPX are coming in with, they've got 4 of their ultimates. They saved the Tour de Force ready for this round, so I expect there to be a challenge coming out from Artis, maybe towards that B site where Durka has been fighting. But then you've also got a Showstopper, a Viper's Pit as well. You can Showstopper to clear the position, and then you can have the Viper's Pit to hold on to it. And then that's before you even talk about Nightfall, which can give you all the information as well. There's a lot for FPX to play with, and if they win this round, FNATIC's money's in the dirt.
I'll tell you the big difference, though, not playing that Sova now for FPX, if they get on a site, well, what's going to be there to deal with the lockdown, pushing them out of a Viper's Pit, seizing the control up against them?
I guess Zipan, Snade.
That's the thing, right? You've got not the best utility belts on these players to deal with that, so your lockdown here actually is a ton of value. It's mostly going to be direct faces that are taking it down.
Well, it almost looks like this is a pure retake setup once again from FNATIC. Again, nothing really forcing Durka back, so he's got that control. They're very happy to battle in for mid and just make sure there can't be any flanks anywhere. And you can see FPX are basically like selling this almost fake towards that B site, but no one's moved. Like, they're still playing heavy mid. You've still got Durka deep, which is enough. If he gets a kill, they still have that lockdown, as you mentioned, for the retake. So as long as he gets something here for FNATIC, which I think is a fair gamble, I'm not liking the look of this for FPX.
Oh, that noise on A is dragging a lot of them this way. The ult used up top. Durka still gets out with one. I think he got hit by the ult twice. And now he's set back up for more. Can't hear a thing, but he can still see. And with 2 kills under his belt, he has slowed them down significantly. A tag, and then another. I mean, FPX ain't getting near a side in this one.
No, time now becoming an issue as well. Xiao just hoping to make things as costly as possible. Wall down, it's going to get broken almost instantaneously. Does land the shot, but it doesn't even matter. It's just going to try and bait someone in and do some extra economy damage, but it's not the case. Still, FPX struggle to deal with Durka. That's the thing. There are not many players in that scenario who goes, I've just been hit by an ult that reduces my HP by half. I should jump up and shoot at them.
It's a good play. Yep.
30 seconds left.
He gets a second one here. And just for anybody wondering, he still couldn't hear anything while he was doing that.
You see, the thing is, in that situation, I feel like he just makes the perfect call. If he stands there and does nothing, they know that he's there. They're going, you know, they'll read that information. As the seconds go on, the deduction comes in, they're swinging, he can't see anything. It could be a fake and he wouldn't even know. Instead, he's like, I know you're probably going to push while this is going through. A cheeky reveal. And that's caught Enzo below, but not Durka. He was safe enough. Now Prowler's not going to see him either. He's got the jump for one of these duels, and there it is, Artis down.
That's the rifle as well. He had a hero rifle invested into this round. Prowler will at least get a little bit of information. The wall is going to be put in, but again, it's instantly broken. Durka on a tear once more. Second kill of the round, spiked down on the ground, the full rotation coming through. They're watching me, but there's no one there. It's very direct. Oh, chance for Zipan, but nothing found.
They might be able to get this plant down by the looks of things, but holding on afterwards is a different story. Showstopper not to land a kill, and the ult to push them right off the site into Boaster's waiting arms. You have a choice now of becoming detained or becoming dead. And it looks like Angel chose the latter.
Well, he actually chose standard the snake bite and hope that he doesn't believe anyone's there. Hope that randomly Boaster just has his monitor and sound turn off. If that had happened, maybe he survived.
Yeah, good chance.
Prime Gaming flawless though. And there was a showstopper invested into that round and a hero rifle for Artist. So they made that look very, very easy. Again, Durka now top of the board. I think he was even going into the last half. I genuinely believe he's died like maybe 3 times in this half.
Yeah, you might be spot on there. I think we heard it from the analyst desk about even the likes of Alphair being able to have a new lease of life coming into this half on that defensive side, and the comfort levels seem to just be exponentially improving on the Fnatic side. Early aggression by Zipan, that seems to have been heard. Boaster reacted to it almost immediately. I'm not sure if he would have heard the blast pack initially, but certainly the player swinging through the air. He's going to fall back, and we've seen this retake setup a couple of times. I think he normally has the orb down. Does he not have it down this round? Oh, he does, slightly in front. Okay.
Okay, well, at least now they know that that spot has been taken, same as before. Actually, Artist is going to go above, finds the kill, but it is eventually traded. Still pretty worthwhile. That will give them an opportunity to get in on the plant, and the rotation's still not really there just yet from the likes of Fnatic. Even still, though, it seems like FPX are very wary, and that poison orb is actually causing them a lot of problems because they can't cross until it's gone.
Even with this pit down, Boaster has a counter pit to play with, but past that, still has his orb, and if he can get a snake bite onto it, he should be in a good enough position, but snake bites are gone now. Both have been used up to delay. Here's the counter pit to play with. Good luck planting inside of that. I think we might even be seeing FPX considering a deeper push around the pits.
30 seconds left.
Cider managed to dodge the drone just slightly. Zipan, he should have heard the steps. It doesn't matter though. Durka just winning the fight. Peek out. Good trade from Xiao. Turns it into a 3 versus 3, but even still, they haven't managed to get that plant down yet. Swing not going to work out. But they need to go for something here. Plant denial is all that's really going to be attempted. Boaster, he's dropped it. Wall up on the other side. It's left to Mystic. And they need to get this plant down. They want to get the kill, but it's denied again! FPX, they just keep running out of time, and the kill's too late by a literal split second. Fnatic will get their 11th.
That wall also canceled the plant. It literally walled the player up off planting, out into the open, and then got sprayed down.
They're such nerds.
That's just fantastic.
Do you know what's crazy? What, they must have had the entry in that round in like 20 seconds and had the sight the whole time. Look how much it's delayed. And then this Red Bull clutch, wall up in the air, just to spam through to deny them at the end. It is grotesque and more so infuriating for FPX. Because as I said, they had the control of that site for a very long time. They just never really had control.
7-2 in the lead, lost both pistols as well. FPX, they've had advantages, they've had disadvantages, but to sit here at 11-9 has got to be astounding to them. This comeback from Fnatic, definitely proving that this is a map that they can pick, that they can choose. And
I like the Durka, maybe I shouldn't go any further than this.
But it was after he like peeked 3 more times and seen no one. He's like, okay.
All right.
So now he's gone back out for a peek.
I remember what Minnie said, play like Device.
Nice and slow.
Especially in, you know, in Copenhagen of all places. Certainly right. Enzo's got his back holding onto the cross, and Durka ready and waiting. Oh, eventually clears him, and he does have to move back out of there for the second time in the round.
Drone with a ton of info. All 3 spotted by that. I mean, Xiao's got to get some huge value with this rifle. Rest of the team pretty much waiting for his lead on this Angel, initiating a bit. The swing isn't going to find anything. Both dealt with. 12 on the board for Fnatic now. Flawless as this half essentially has been.
Well, that's the thing. So Prime Gaming flawless here. Bear in mind, they've only won 1 round, right? Do you remember what that round was?
No.
It was the 4K out from Cider when they were playing up against the
Oh,
round
yeah,
of Fnatic.
okay. Yep.
That's the only round they won, and they almost lost it, and
yep.
it was mostly versus pistols. Other than that, the closest round was a minute ago where they died in a Viper's pit.
So stand-in won them around this half, and other than that, it has been
that makes it a bit more bleak, doesn't it? 12-9. Again, they're going to try and battle a bit more for this B-site control. I think the B-site's definitely been a little bit more open for business. They at least got close to the site when it came to B On the A site, they've been demolished, facing into Durka every single time. Operator in for Artis. He's had a good match, but they're going to need him again.
Another time delay coming through. In fact, the orb not even going to go up this time around. The snake bite just ran through and a safe plant secured. Just about.
Guys, I got the plant down. I'm safe-ish.
I cannot move, but I have planted it. Now, they haven't seen anyone run up there, and they used a nano swarm on it. I almost find it unlikely that they think he's here at this point. With the drone having seen it, and now they're holding it, they're moving up. Starting to close the distance, 2 back yellow. They haven't cleared the corner at all, and there it is. Xiao able to grant massive value to his team. Is he going to stick around here? Well, it doesn't matter. FNATIC are not going to stick around. They're running away.
Oh, Alpha almost caught on the way out. Going to peek back in with the operator. We'll get rid of Xiao, but an adaptation for FPX. I think, honestly, in that round, just getting the plant down was something. They've been denied so regularly that trying to get the ideal position of where they want to plot, it just becomes irrelevant. And while Xiao, we've talked about him being clutch all the way through this tournament, that was the play that got them their first round other than against the bonus.
Well, that's exactly it. For this man, sitting in 19 on himself and Artis, they have been putting in the work. And just 2 more rounds needed, but man, this half has been so tough to find the value on. Faster play on B site, they get themselves a lot of value there. But now look at the adaptation from FNATIC. Tour de force right away, 2 players up close. Prowler gonna spot 1, that's Mystic, taking a little bit of a nightmare situation, but Durka, well, he's dreaming up top, taking down Zipan. And giving them the advantage that they need. A res online to play with in this round as well if things get dicey for FNATIC. And Durka is not even finished peeking.
Oh, he's going to catch out Angel. You can see he's even waiting for it, and then Mystic wolves back up and gets down another. This defensive side has been nigh on flawless from FNATIC. Now, Xiao may have that res, but getting a place even to use it, I think he'd just have to use it to sacrifice his team. And honestly, at this point, if it's a trade onto Durka, that might be worth it.
Oh, Alpha has got the position locked down as well. They know that Cider's there. I'm pretty sure they saw Xiao's barrel moments ago as he attempted a res or tried to see how close he was. And now that mid position's completely locked down. Cider caught Mystic. Okay, a good kill to start with and some harassment onto Boaster, but still locking it down as Durka, and with the back covered by Alpha, there's practically no way out of here except facing them. And, well, that hasn't worked for them so far, Tom, and it certainly won't work to close this out. 13-10 for FNATIC. They'll take the win here on their own map pick. It didn't look like they were going to get it, Tom. Well, they made the comeback happen.
For any fans who may have watched the last Masters and sort of question, like, why are all these analysts going on about Durka? Like, can he make that much of a difference? Can he really be that good? Why are they putting him in the conversation with players like Ye? 29-14. Decimation on this defensive half, and Durka was the one leading the charge all the way through. He has burst onto the scene in Copenhagen, and honestly, yeah, it might have been a little bit slow for Alpha. It might have been a rough first half. This is why FNATIC are so feared when it comes to Icebox.
I will say, though, recency bias might get you coming out of that game thinking, wow, FNATIC, best team, that was incredible. This game is, tied up for them, but 13-10, a close game, and we cannot, fail to address Xiao, Artis, having fantastic games. Cider, the stand-in, the reason that we have even more compounded doubt against FPX. He had a phenomenal map here, had some great clutches. This is FPX looking pretty good and challenging to double digits on their opponent's map pick.
He had 9 first bloods.
9.
And he just noticed that. Yeah. And Artis had 8. It really was the battle of those 2 chamber players. And honestly, I think we're going into Haven, and I think we might get it again.
I imagine so. And like I said, the next map up, that's FPX's pick. That's their home turf. After a close first map, I'm expecting a banger of a second, but we're going to have to wait a little bit to see that. For now, we're going to toss it off to the desk and a break. We'll see you soon.
They had us in the first half, but FNATIC, they remain undefeated on Icebox in this stage. I'm on back on the desk with Mimi and Bala. I gotta say, Boaster, the Alpha Go Kill strat kind of failed, but Durka Go Kill was unreal on that map.
Yeah, he was insane towards the tail end. That second half, he really lit up, and he comes out with his first map on LAN in 2022, and he drops 29, ties basically the best outside of overtimes.
Yeah, I mean, Durka was impeccable, and what was excellent out of him was he was good in the first half, good in the second. He gave time for Alpha to get going, really. He started so incredibly slow. After no kills in the first 9 rounds, he turned that around. Well, it wasn't a crazy performance out of him. It was enough to instill confidence. And, you know, Fnatic, they just do it again. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and FPX just keeps letting Fnatic go to this map.
Yeah, of course. This FPX also made a comp change as well.
Yeah, they did, and it didn't work again.
Still, I think this was the best that they have looked on this map. I really liked what they were showing with the Fade and the Raze. Zipan is incredibly comfortable on this role. He was great individually, and you see some of the nice setups here. There's the nade combo with the tether. You also had kind of the re-clear off the cats in mid, holding that space, making up for the lack of the killjoy, and also just so many great individual moments from this guy.
Yeah, I think Zipan was great. The combination Fade Raze was great as well. Mostly on defense, though. When they came to that attack side, they were often wasting the C's nade combo a lot to try to deny orb that they weren't even really going for. Dirk was just constantly playing top pipes, and it just shows the strength of this Fnatic comp. It just became so good when they switched to defense.
Yeah, the attack side was so shaky, but in the defense side, Mimi, we saw a couple of retakes that was just peak premium online Fnatic.
I mean, Fnatic is just so good in the retake at practically every moment on this map. Their composition allows it in such a great way. There was one particular one that we wanted to take a look at, and it was the way that they're using the Killjoy on this map. I think a lot of teams are still undervaluing that agent, but Fnatic have stood by the Killjoy. In this one, they're able to pop down that Killjoy lockdown early to start to fight for that retake, and we can start to see it unfold here, Ball.
Yeah, this was really, really solid. Every time you get this Killjoy lockdown up, you have to have something to try to counter it, or some sort of play as well, because it even takes a little bit to get on site, but then the lockdown comes, and Boaster gets the flank off, gets the first kill, and just seals the deal. This Molly onto Angel. Angel's like, I'm going to sit on it. This is new patch Molly. I could sit here. No, Boaster, he's vulnerable, and Boaster's like, I'll just run spray.
I mean, with how prevalent just heavy post-plant setups are on this map, I think kind of finding those flanks in the late round in the retake is so important to the map identity of Icebox, and I think Fnatic, out of all the teams we have here at the event, do the absolute best job at doing that, and they prove it again here with the comeback on the defense.
Yeah, it's very Fnatic, isn't it? They trap you with a lockdown, and if you either get like lockdown or you have to run into Boaster, so it is the way that they play. Like I said, Fnatic, they have 2 strats. Alpha Go Kill didn't work out too well. Here he is right now in the AIM Lab shooter round. I am quite forgiving. This is a kid that just turned 17. Mimi, a lot of people are expecting big things from him, and I think coming on to the next map is where he is going to shine.
I mean, it's stressful. You're on a big stage. A ton of people are watching you. The pressure is on. Everyone has high expectations. I don't blame him for stumbling initially, but what matters is he rebounded in that second half.
Yeah, and I also think that he was playing a really tough role to start off with, right? This is probably the most passive of any of the roles that Alphayear plays, and he's super flexible. Now he goes more into that star position where he plays Raze on Haven, and I think this is something where he's going to enjoy himself a little bit more, have a lot more incentive, freedom to do what he needs to do, and what will take out FPX.
I mean, the part we were so critical on was when he was playing Killjoy on attack. That's so incredibly difficult to do outside of how good you are as an individual. So I'm really not worried about him heading into Haven.
Well, let's talk about Haven now, because we talk about FPX changing comps. They played Haven twice already here in this competition, and they played 2 different comps. The latest one we saw, they were kind of favoring the Breach over the KO this time around. Bala, what do you think about their chances going on to this map?
Yeah, it's really interesting. FPX has been innovating a lot, and I think the important thing and the important player on this is actually Cider, the way he plays the Omen. Right? Angel was also very pivotal on that role when they played it traditionally, when they played it, for example, in the Grand Finals against Fnatic, and Cider has been doing a great job on it as well. The one consistent thing they have is Xiao on Fade, and he's been a monster on this map specifically. You mentioned the DRX in the pregame before this game started. He was so good on that map.
Yeah, he was impeccable in that one. They ended up winning things out, and I love that they do play both the Breach and the Fade in their most recent iteration of the comp. I think when you're playing against a team that does not run the Neon, you get so much value out of that Breach, being able to fight for a lobby control, not just with those C's nade combos, but with that Breach stun as well. It gives more flexibility to your Raze player and just how you play both your defense and attack in general. And I think it's going to be good against Fnatic because they play a kind of older comp on this map. They've just stuck by the Breach Sova, which a lot of teams have moved away from since Fade has come into the meta.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because I think they also, they're pioneering the Breach a little bit on this map for so long, and there's so much value in setting up Durka on this map, right? We just looked at him. He's feeling really good. 29 kills in the first map, and his attack side chamber is one of the best I've seen on this map, and possibly ever for attack side chambers. He just has so much room to work with, and so much can be used to set him up.
Well, we're heading into the Prime Gaming Agent Select here, and of course, FNATIC, they have never changed their comps in Stage 2. I don't expect them to do it here, but FPX on the other side, they've kind of been swapping here, there and here, so maybe we do see something new.
I mean, it's the identity of FPX. I wouldn't be too surprised if they made a change on through, but again, I was a fan of what they played previous, and the early picks coming on through. Looks like they might just be continuing with
they went
never
back.
mind.
They went back.
We're regressing to the KO.
Yeah, this could be one of the FPX things where they just don't want FNATIC to have too much prep on them, right?
Sure, and it also could just speak to the opponents that they were playing prior, right? The Breach could have been better against the teams that they were playing earlier on in the tournament, and the KO Angel might feel is a little stronger. I did feel like he was getting actually just destroyed by RB when they played against DRX, and that might have been because of the specific agent he was playing on.
Well, FNATIC, they are 1-0 up in this series right now. FPX, they have to win this map if they want to force a third one. Mitch and Tom, take us away.
FPX's home turf in this FPS.
Good start.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. Tom, I want to know, moving on to this, look, altogether a close previous map, but I guess, dominant showing towards the end from FNATIC. How are you reading into this second map now?
I think it's going to be a boring response, but I do think that the Durka versus Artist battle could actually define things here. I think that obviously Alfia now being able to be a little bit more aggressive, I think it's much more of a confidence agent, but it's one I think will help him thrive. But especially these two chambers, they get so aggressive around the map on the defensive side. If you can shut either of them down, it gets very scary. And well, sorry, need a moment. That was disgusting.
Little Durka versus Artist battle. Yep, well, it's certainly kicked off in favor towards the FPX side, but they've lost out on another man. Zipan dying on that A-long push. They've managed to get Cider into the corner.
There.
If they check this, though, FNATIC certainly will have the numbers to deal with him. A nice opening shot, but only the one to be found. Numbers remain even. Looks like FNATIC want to go 8 fast. Again, Artist now stuck in the corner, creeping his way on through. Hasn't made any noise. And they're hearing the second player rotating. The reveal should give them everything they need.
What is? They know where he is. Okay, he just didn't even see like Enzo broke his stride, just running straight across. I thought for a second somehow Artist was going to go unchecked, but no. After a solid start, FNATIC, their resurgence into this round, and they've got another pistol. I think that's all 3 so far.
It is indeed, yeah, a streak of pistols. And again, considering how close the previous map was, it could be said that the pistols are all they're keeping FNATIC alive at this point. FPX coming relatively close in a lot of those fights. FNATIC just about edging it out. Now as we move into round number 2, I'm already seeing Cider with a shorty in his hands. That'll be over towards C-Long, though. Not looking to get any contact there as FNATIC early on. Very much in favor of taking it to A as FPX.
I wonder what they could be.
I think they saw all 5, so that's a decent bit of info.
Yeah, they do seem to be, I think, one of the best teams at getting use out of the Fade. Like we saw in the last map with Angel picking it up, although I do think that Xiao's Fade has definitely shown to be a lot stronger. We'll see if that can be the case here. They stack up at 4 players, though, still being pressured. The problem is, well, just look where Durka is. He's all the way down mid. If he goes any further into B, full information and not really anything there. An aggressive push through, though. And actually, Zipan's going to kick things off onto Alpha here. But this control might be a big problem for them. An easy kill to trade onto Angel, and while the B site is now open for business.
Yeah, and Cider might seem to have a decent position to try and catch a flank, but he has only got a shorty in his hands, so very limited in these engagements. He would have to be able to creep, right up behind them, and thankfully Boaster turns.
One enemy
That's going to be dealt with, and there you go. Nicely handled. FNATIC walk out just the 2 players lost, and considering how things started, I think they can be happy enough with that.
Yeah, it's at least the minimum for FPX, though. I think that, yeah, it could have been a lot more, especially with the gamble. I like the aggression coming out from them, and I think we can expect to see quite a bit more of that in this round. The question really, though, is what FNATIC are going to do here. Probably not invest too much more into this. Maybe if Enzo wants to, he could buy up a hero rifle. He's got a lot of credits in the bank that he could potentially try and juggle around, but other than that, you're looking at Durka with that headhunter, and then just whatever they can get out of the SMGs.
The benefit of having Durka as one of those fallen players, right? Just a couple of shields. I think he still had a lot of headhunter bullets, so 1.2k investment this round, and he's basically full bot. And obviously playing the pistol for Enzo, it's evening out things, but we'll see how it comes to pass in those fights. They've already got B-side control, Tom. Left pretty much open here by FPX. Early on wanting to fight extremities, and instead they're forced into a fight in spawn. A great paranoia coming out of the side of FNATIC. Boaster landing it perfectly and giving them now the advantage.
This position needs to be cleared. Durka just trying to stick around the angle, even tries to go for a little more. But even just catching them off guard is going to buy time for the rest of the team. Alfia playing close around the door. A victory here for Cider could make all the difference, and he will eventually take one down. You've got the aftershock denying them on the plant, but the clearing out from FPX is good.
Shot from Boaster, decent damage done. Shock dart through, delays them that little bit more. If Enzo can pull them off that defuse, it could have been huge. But he couldn't quite swing around the corner in time. Still, altogether, for the round that was in it, I think FNATIC can be pretty happy with the damage done. As we said, they didn't lose too much in the previous round, didn't invest too much this time around, and still made it relatively close. Now they get the rifles out, but look at what FPX are left. They're picking up the scraps, really. Players are going to have to drop, light shields are going to be there.
With Tour de Force, they can get away with it. That's the thing. Yeah. I feel like Artis is going to be able to bridge the gap. You've also got a showstopper. So out of all the ultimates they could possibly have online, those two are easily the best for their defensive side.
Okay. Let's see, I have 3 players on light shields, a Guardian having to take place as well, but that, as you said, the Tour de Force could be huge. They almost got something out of that.
The C's was a little bit late.
It was. Yeah, Boaster just snuck right through, took advantage of that little bit of mistiming, maybe content that he could have shrouded step out if he did get pulled in.
This is a risky angle to take. I don't know what they're going to use to potentially clear this. They've got the aftershock, which would likely make him TP away. Boom bot. He's actually going to swing, though. Artis with the confident peek. Boaster gone. The smokes dissipated. Durka again, though. Starting to go walkabouts. Now, there is a player in the former side watching this. But he's going to be able to get quite a bit further. I'm looking at the flash, though.
Great flash. Follow-up, not quite. Durka's still surviving on that one, but he hadn't put an anchor that far back. He's still stuck in the corner on long, so it's not a safe retreat, and he doesn't want it to be. They still want to fight for this C site, but with Garage now one-way smoked, no control towards the C site itself, and your C-long pusher having only 20 HP, this could see a pivot.
Left.
They've got so little time to make a decision, though. It really is now or never, and they're going to start to pull back. Where are they taking it, though? C-long? Or a full save?
I think they might just save. Yeah, running out of time, not really having any sort of options to go for. Unfortunately, losing Boaster early on means that they needed someone to make a mistake, and it seemed like FPX were more than aware. Pop flash out from Angel, just making sure that they are wary of these flank plays. And this was something that was definitely the case when it came down to their attack side of Icebox as well. Like, FPX were very aware that, okay, this player's going to try and lurk through here. This player's going to try and make a move here. And they were more than happy to counter that with utility or flashes just to make sure that FNATIC basically weren't getting away with murder.
You know, next round now, as we come into this one, you don't have to deal with the Tour de Force, right? So resetting it for, you know, do you want a 25-second push C long, Tour de Force is there to maybe take you down. They might have rotated. You haven't got Garage. You've got to go through a one-way, and then it was re-smoked. So you can take that chance with your 4 weapons or save them till next round, have a full buy, be very close to having ultis online in very impactful scenarios, and take that big one-shot weapon out of the round. So they lose nothing really by doing that, and now a chance to reset, fight back into it. Artis, though, he wants to disrupt them immediately, going right down through mid, and they've already taken out the utility. Oh, that's absolutely disgusting. Durka must have gotten hit by the knife, so his trap wasn't up. A kill is found. And Cider, well, it's all going to come down to the timing, but look where Alpha has crept into. He's in a great position to catch Cider, but who's going to catch Zipan? Absolutely nobody by the looks of it. Enzo thought he had the win, but was traded out immediately. And again, a
Spike
solid...
still in spawn? What? That's so peculiar. 3 people ran into the C site, and they were almost waiting for Durka to bring them the spike, and he's like, don't worry, guys, your fake has worked. I'll take A and win us the round.
It's a strange round indeed. Not too often.
He's
you're
still
gonna see
popped
this
all the force.
force.
Man, he believes he can win this.
I mean, he's just gotten right. Him and Mystic were one away coming into this round. Now an opportunity for him. Where is this other TP? Oh, it's on site, going down to short. Okay, so he's going to hold this corner, but look who he's up against. No Prowlers for Xiao, but he has a Haunt. I don't know when the knife will be online for Angel, and that could be huge in taking the Tour de Force out. You might almost want to wait for it. It's 2 seconds away. 1 kill found, another, and it's Angel gone. Xiao, the last man standing. The time ticking away. He's got to make a move, and he's in a slow field. It's taking so long now. I don't even know that he'll have time to get on this. He's going to try to get it halfway, but then Durka swings and confirms it. A Red Bull clutch out of this man. It looked impossible. And somehow he's done it.
The whole team fake strat just worked out for FNATIC. I actually can't believe that, obviously not intentional, but Durka left the spike, given a tour de force, and facing off against 3 members of FPX, pulls off. He made it look so easy. He didn't take a point of damage in that whole thing. Repositioning, reading every move that FPX made, and well, we said in the last map, we're putting him, he's obviously in contention for the best player in the world. That's why.
The look of just sheer disbelief on Enzo's face there. He's like, nice! Yeah. He's almost pinching himself like, we did win that, right? We did. Yeah, let's go!
It must be wonderful just having Durka on your team. Like, everything goes wrong, and he's like, got this, boys. Don't worry.
Well, full team pushes the other side of the map, leaves the spike behind, and Durka goes, oh, thanks for leaving me spike, guys.
The thing is, though, if you're on the other side as well, what do you say to that? Like, Artist peaks, the swing is almost immediate out of heaven to try and put pressure on him after he TPs away. He knew exactly the timing.
And the thing is, the swing, you could say, right, that the timing was fantastic for the position he was in, but if you look at close left corner, under heaven, anything like that, the normal positions players will try to take in those, that it was right to let the player swing out of spawn first and then try to dive in afterwards and take that trade, but you just kind of count for him hitting those shots so quickly, so consistently, and it's off that plant as well that he gets the tour de force.
That's
I mean,
the
dominoes just lined up perfectly for Durka there, and he saw them, man. He flicked them right down, put 3 on the board, and FNATIC take the lead with that. But Tom, it's not easy. They don't follow through with an eco on FPX. They're bought up fully. They've got an op on Artis. They're going to look to make a stop to it here.
We're seeing the same contention for long once again. Information garnered already by the combination of the KO knife along with Fade utility. Again, though, Durka just pressuring into mid. They're leaving this open because of the trap, but they do have to be wary. He's always going to be looking to try and battle around the map. No one really taking any control, though. They have that operator locking long, but other than that, every single angle is passive at the moment from FPX.
Boaster's just waited out those smokes now. His 2 are back online. 1 up into heaven.
I think they saw him.
They did. Okay, yeah, they noticed for sure. Rolling Thunder, a nade. It's actually almost chased him into the spawn, but he's standing right behind the site. Alpha clears it out, still dealing with Xiao and Angel, and he's still going. The head spotted at connections there. Damn close to a 3K out of this man, and a whole new face from Alpha compared to the previous map. You can, or well, the first half of the previous map more so. Certainly coming online here as they steam up to 4 and push FPX to that eco that they've been looking for.
And that's how this map actually works for them. If Alpha is having a poor performance, the attack side does seem very Durka-centric, because a lot of the time he's left on the lurk and the rest of the team are looking to set up Alpha. This is that sort of round. They had the counter util, they had the ultimate thrown in to basically just destroy the man on site, which in this case was Xiao. And now after a rocky start, 4 on the bot, he hit that shot. And so did he.
Wow, returned, and that is the Marshall kill. FPX on weaker weapons. Artis has got his headhunter inside a garage looking to take a fight. Everybody else is kind of giving up control to this A side out of FPX. They're leaving just one man to hold across. They're starting to rotate through again.
Is
Good
he about
read,
to go
good
through
information.
this? Versus, surely, no. He's just
Wait
going to
for
wait
the
out
fade.
the smoke.
Teleport's broken.
Okay, well, they know that Durka was around the angle. The thing is, the rest of the team is starting to take control of this gap, but Enzo's aware of it. Artist down. Angel very low on HP, and the rest of the team looking like they might just double back and try and join him.
Yeah, I think they're starting to sense out these fakes with some of the utility they're seeing. That they know at a minimum there's 2 players towards the C site with a fade having been spotted. Angel so low and his shoulder was seen. Came close to going down, but Zipan uses that info. Comes through for another kill, a second headshot.
30 seconds left.
Showstopper online as well, Tom. Nade back in play thanks to that second kill. 20 seconds with a nade and a showstopper. They've got to take him down, and they won't at first. That buys them a little bit more time. 15 seconds on the clock. They're not going to use the showstopper, though. They allowed the plant to come through. Still, with a man advantage, they have every chance to win this.
Already, though, Durka dropping another Hunter's Fury available if they need it, but it doesn't look likely at all. Peek out. Xiao is going to take some space. Mystic down. Starting to get a little bit dangerous for FNATIC here, especially with Xiao on a rifle. Never mind. A quick snap from Durka hiding in the smoke, and Cider, he's picked up a gun at least, trying to stick this one through. And actually, the TP kind of baited outside of there. I think it was also just the utility being thrown out while Enzo plays that one perfectly. 5-2, FNATIC extend their lead further, and while Mitch, FPX need a response now. I
really enjoyed just the swagger of that little clicking the fingers on the way through the smoke. Like, oh, you thought I was going to shoot you, didn't you? Didn't you? I don't even need to. 5-2 for FNATIC. Like you said, this is where FPX need that response. The operator, if they're investing into it on Artist, they earned up their showstopper previous round on Zipan. There's a ton there, but obviously FNATIC have got their own ultis in response. They've got their Durka on the operator, and so far he seems to be coming ahead in some of these duels. Here's another chance to prove himself now as Artist sits down on C site. Up in hand, and he's taken out Enzo. That wide swing a little bit too ambitious.
Yeah, look at the aggression out as well. FPX are pushed all the way in towards the spawn, but Angel, it doesn't seem like he's aware. Nice shots from Xiao at least. Keeps it into an advantageous position, but Boaster patiently waiting. Spam actually coming through the wall. I think even confusing him a little bit of where those bullets were coming from. But they will garner themselves this B site. Boaster taking the space. Nobody really anywhere near this angle. Finally, the trap will give things away, but that will allow for an afterplant.
Not a trap you're expecting at all. Shame for Angel. He went down because he was trying to ping that trap. There's the info of both players. Artist knows exactly what he's up against at this point. He knows that they're deafened as well, so he can make that little bit of noise, start to close in the distance. But he's lost his teammate, and now Durka's out looking for him. He suspects he's coming through middle, but doesn't know he's already on the left. The swing about to come through, and Durka will be quicker. 3 kills in this round, and his dominance just continues.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't doubt for a second that he did that shot first time. Not even a split second in my head. They had to make up that ground. It was easy. And that's the thing, 13-3. Nobody else in the server particularly close, but it's also just the impact kills. Xiao, it was a nice attempt. And for someone who's been desperately quiet so far in this map, bear in mind the last time they played it, he was incredible. Like, absolutely incredible when they played this map versus DRX. In fact, that was one of the sort of misleading scorelines of a 13-8, and you're like, man, what a 13-8 though, really. It wasn't though. It was probably about, well, it probably went the other way if it wasn't for Xiao.
Okay, Artist is right down on mid. 1 kill, but he couldn't quite get into the corner. Didn't have the position to play from. And he just extended from his TP.
Judging the smoke and down to 36 HP just from spam. It seems like everything that's being attempted at the moment by FPX is being read. Boaster's been so good at just holding off on these flanks, and Ace is going to TP straight in towards the C site. Nobody spotted, nobody found. Judge, the only weapon really too close, even throwing in the paranoia, and on nade might be used, but Durka's got his back. Must be nice being Boaster just running around with a smoke in his hand and just people dying around him.
Durka said, I'm holding spawn. He went, okay. I trust you. Not a second of doubt, not a second of hesitation in that 7-2. You know, we've seen the exact scoreline that's on our screens here kind of flip up in the previous map. And this is FPX's choice. But this one feels a little bit different, Tom. A map like this, seeing Durka already showing up the way that he is. He is 14-3 right now.
Yeah.
And there was a question in the previous map of who was coming out ahead in those head-to-head duels.
Yeah, not really anymore.
Especially in the impactful ones, right? It's not even just numbers, it's more who is really winning those fights. But this time, yeah, exactly like you say, there is no question.
Oh, wow, they've just gone for an early pop of the Hunter's Fury. It hasn't really sold them the information they might have wanted. Instead, it's going to be the showstoppers used in tandem, and Althea comes out on top. TP, it can't be stuck. Cider has to fall back. Artist sectioned off as well by the paranoia. Has he just gone into heaven with the spike? No, he's gone underneath.
Yeah.
I was thinking for a second I was about to lose my mind, but no, just looking for a safe plant.
Yeah, didn't want to get spammed down in the cross or opt through that little angle that Durka tried to return a shot from. He's dancing around to a different position, being challenged, and again winning it out. No question in these head-to-heads, and Angel didn't quite clear the right angle on the way out there.
Just like, oh, that's my team. No, that is not my teammate.
I can shoot this guy. 8-2.
Wait a minute, we're not playing KO.
Rounds just keep on clocking up, and Tom, I hate to say it, but that was the one that FPX needed. They are down to an eco here. They've called a timeout, and they're 8-2 behind.
I think they needed quite a few of the last ones to win this.
Sure. But you bring it back to 7-5, yeah, I'm all right with it. But now,
the different things they're attempting, though, just aren't working. Like, Artist has had some success with some aggressive pushes that hasn't really won them any rounds. Angel, like what we mentioned throughout this tournament, I think he has the most first deaths of anyone with 33. I don't think that's getting any better. And at the moment, he's had no impact. Like, not only having no kills, but also having a KO with 1 assist is just kind of unheard of. It's like the easiest stage in the game. Yeah. All of their combos as well, at this point, they're too obvious. Like, we saw this in the last half as well, or the last game, I should say, when they were trying to deny orb control. Every single round, they're throwing this utility into A main. Every single round, Boaster goes, all right, gonna use one of my shadow steps. That's the same map control. And it just doesn't mean anything anymore. They need to be a little bit more adaptive and do something different, because FNATIC are basically just running the same round in a simulator again and again.
Well, I mean, it's not even down to the strategy that they run with. Durka is 16-3.
It's decent.
This guy is currently in a shooting gallery, just running around, taking fight after fight successfully, and every single strategic advantage that FPX get, every bit of map control that they have, every pick that they find, he comes through and just undoes all their hard work almost instantly. And that's only one player. That's one guy's clutch potential, but it's all that we've needed to see so far.
Well, they've found the information this time that there is nothing towards A, but look at the pace change. This is going to be a rolling thunder straight in. Now they have managed to avoid it and run straight back through, but they're all dead.
He came through B!
Yeah, they're all dead.
You know, FNATIC's understanding of the map control they're up against now, granted, for the round that's in it, you know, FPX didn't really have that much, but whatever. The fact that they're pushing and pulling this map so well, FPX are always having to be on their toes, they're always having to rotate, then they're being caught. You got this guy Shrouded stepping through and triple spraying you down. Also, assisted on that Artist kill. Boaster just won this round single-handedly.
The best thing about that is as well, they had a rolling thunder go through that left one gap.
There it was.
That was the gap. And they had Boaster in the backlines watching for the exact gap. That's ridiculous.
Yep, they made it so that nobody for a
Hey, look,
hold on, this is a fight on short.
made.
Pushing down on short Cider. He's already had to use his utility to get out of here. He's got to run. That Boombot was chasing him down even after the paranoia. Zipan's in trouble. He tried the wall bang, but that's not a fair exchange for his life. And Xiao, he's doing well to even find one, but they're coming for him. And the full force of FNATIC comes through. 3 versus 2. A side is theirs. And they're stepping close to double digits. We're not even looking at an ounce of hope for FPX if they end up 10-2 down. I find it almost impossible that they come back into this. They're map pick or not.
Yeah, the A-side aggression, it's met by the same response every single time. FNATIC come out with an advantage, and now they slow it down. And that's the thing, just look at where the defense is right now. They're as split, as far apart as they could possibly be. Artist, he does have a decent angle here. Now the rotation coming back in, he's not going to be holding this. The drone likely to force him off, but he could now try and swing back out. He jumps into the open. It's a risk, but it ones that pays off, and he's right back out again.
Absolutely perfect, exactly what they needed. Boaster, though, catches Angel. The drop out of Artis! It's ambitious, it nearly works out! And that could have been a lifeline for FPX, but instead the half will end 10-2. And this looks like, after a close first map, FPX have just failed to find any sort of footing, swept off their feet in this series.
Yeah, they have been bulldozed. We're seeing Boaster having a sublime performance. We're seeing Alpha now look a little bit better on the server. Enzo's only died 3 times, but I think when we do head this one back off to the desk, there's only really one question I want to ask, Mitch. And hey, Desk, what do you think of Darker?
He good. He good.
Good player.
He good. Bright future ahead of this guy, definitely. You know, good pickup.
Yeah, I'd say maybe a little bit.
For the first map and the first series for Durka to be him doing this thing, I can't even speak.
What?
400?
Okay, that's absurd.
Straight up, after that 1v3, FPX didn't win a round.
Yeah.
He just boomed them.
He just completely broke their back. You'd say the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just the dumbbell that just got dropped on
This is calculated, by the way. The best fake of all time. The greatest fake ever.
The confidence too. He just instant pops to the force. Yeah, 1v3, whatever. And they're on the other side of the map, by the way. He has so much time to just sit here.
Sure. And I mean, as much as I'd love to just say Durka good, on top of that, FPX is just looking deflated. Normally, they're so good with their combos on the defensive side. Playing that fade raise, setting their team up for success with those KO flashes in. None of that is hitting. The coordination is feeling off. And a big part of it is just FNATIC's ready. They knew what to expect coming in towards this game. They've weighed out all that utility. They have not been afflicted by it once.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is that Boaster just is constantly TPing past it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as there's a fade raise combo, they're just like, yeah, okay, we'll just wait and then go. And then there's always some sort of retake that's working really good. By the way, Boaster 12-6. That's a massive performance for a controller player for an IGL. He's definitely playing really well right now in this stomp.
And I guess now the question is it enough for FPX to come back? And I don't think so. Just that deflation, just being utterly stomped on, it does a lot to one's mental. And when you're down this bad, heading in towards the attacking side, I mean, it's going to take a miracle for them to rally.
Well, EMEA fans, you know we've been here before. FPX, they're staring down the barrel of a 4th defeat at Stage 2 here to FNATIC. Mitch and Tom, they really have to dig deep in the second half.
Well, FNATIC are fielding a pretty fearsome first half here, Tom. I'm not sure how to feel about this second. If FPX take the pistol and start to have a phenomenal comeback into it, I'll start to believe. This is a team that, if anybody can adapt and overcome these sort of scenarios, it is this team. But Tom, it seems like such a huge task. And without the pistol, I'll say it's 100% not going their way.
Well, yeah, the fact is, this series never goes their way, but they never get boomed. That's not really the fact of this matchup. Already though, Durka down. That's something I haven't said much throughout this whole series so far, if I'm being brutally honest. And they are going to get themselves into the afterplant position. A long rotation coming all the way back though. It seems like Alpha managed to bypass any of the utility that was there, and he's just going to look to try and hold on to this control.
3 for 3 in pistol so far. FNATIC setting up for a 4th. It's Artis and Zipan left alive. Make that just Artis. A massive clutch needed, and they know that he's stuck in this corner. Alpha gonna give him the time to peek out, face the site, and have his teammates deal with him. They all have a sliver of health left, but it's more than enough with 11 on the board now. I doubt there's any stopping this FNATIC roster.
See, there you go. They don't just need Durka to win.
Yeah.
They got rid of him early, but honestly, there's been such a response from the rest of the players. Yeah.
It's got a 4 KD.
Mitch has cursed 6 players.
6 times? I didn't even notice that one. What was that?
I don't know. What was this one? I don't doubt that he did curse
Yeah,
someone,
no, I'll throw my hands up. Like, looking at the last couple days, I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. But man, 20-5's just been unbelievable.
It was a team curse. You cursed the entire team.
Oh, good. Good.
6 is quite low for you.
They delayed this. Nade going through, the stun's there as well, great damage, but Cider's already crept past. Good kill for him, Zipan with another, and if they pace it up, they might have gotten to A, but Mystic has already snuck his way back in. Getting himself at least a foothold. This is a solid a response from FPX in the force buy. They need this one to work out.
Oh, the 1v1 could be everything. Artist actually shying away from it. He knows he's pulled a rotation. There's deep control in mid as well from Boaster, and he's hearing the footsteps. Timing's going to be everything, but they get rid of Durka quick enough that it might not matter. And Afterplant looking very likely here, and I don't know if there's much Mystic and Boaster can do about this one.
No, I think they've got all the information as well over on the FPX side. They know that trap was broken outside of mid, but they've now filled in that gap. They still have Garage, so only really the flank and this angle right here to worry about. Not a clean fight, so that'll deter him from going in for more. He started to move back. I think maybe we're looking at even carrying this through to the next round and damage out of Mystic, but yeah, okay. Hasn't spotted him.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually just going to try and bring this through. I guess with the shield still available for Mystic as well, it's just something to play with into the next round, and I guess the assumption will be that they will force. Angel steps are going to be heard. Trying to hunt down this remaining player. It's a bit of an obscure position for Mystic to try and save from, so I don't know if it's necessarily going to be checked, and while Boaster's deep enough in the flank that I don't think anybody's going to spot him.
Yeah, I think they're pretty comfortable with carrying these Spectres through. 11-3. A brave call from FPX to go for that force buy and to go for such an aggressive push out in this round, but fortune favors the bold, and this time around they've at least gotten that lifeline. They found their follow-up, cancelled out the pistol almost for FNATIC, but they cannot afford to have this go back and forth at any point. From this, I mean, look, to avoid overtime, they've got to be flawless, 10 in a row, and that is not easy to do here on the attack.
No, like, especially when you know that Durka's going to be roaming the map. I didn't even get to finish the sentence and somebody's already dead. Oh, it's so ridiculous. Controller down as well, so smokes are going to be a bigger issue here. And they're going back for more. Trying to peek into Shao, but he gets both.
Oh, that is huge. And Vaughn right back into it, Durka. Oh. Just one more there, and this could have been a serious problem. But instead, these last two players are retaking Shorty and Frenzy up against the world. They catch Angel. They're not going to catch Angel. At 36 HP, I'd be very cautious here. Nade on the way, Shorty on the other side. You never know. Or even a Frenzy.
He's
now.
upgraded to a Frenzy. You know, I've seen this weapon do terrifying things in the hands of RB. Oh, look! Pull the knife out. Oh God, Xiao's going to close it. Angel's onto the board as well, which is definitely a good sign. He has been having a very, very rough game. I think he finished the first half without a single kill, so starting to build back into things a little bit. And they do have themselves majority rifles going into this next round as well, so I guess normally you'd think of this as more of a bonus round, but it really isn't. They're so far behind. Durka one away from Tour de Force as well, so even if they manage to get through this one, it's not going to get any easier from that point.
Yeah, these are definitely tough moments. They'll test you as a team. The comebacks from this far behind, very rarely going to go your way. Nice deep nade. Sider's in trouble. Has to Shrouded step out of that corner for a number of reasons. Although they return the favor here, FPX, they're really not looking to concede this control. A lot of utility put in there. They know now right side's clear. And I think they were sticking around because they could smell the blood in the water. They thought there was a fight that they could force with the utility, but now they've seen, okay, these guys are giving up the control. We got to look elsewhere.
You can see how careful Angel's being. It's like he could be anywhere. Let's make sure nothing is left unchecked. The knife, it's going to be broken. So they know where he is. Artis even tries to use that to his advantage. Hit the timing onto Durka, but he still lands the shot from above. Alfia with the swing. It's just whichever side of the map you go to, you get shot in the face. Zipan looking to try and trade things out. Alfia looking to fight, and then he's even got supportive shot darts doing damage. Enzo lands it right at the feet, and now these trades just going firmly in the favor of FNATIC. One man standing, Flash will leave him blind, and it is a nice swing from Enzo to close.
And that was our fear all along. You know, the funny thing is, that almost sold as a fake in FPX's mind. We've put a knife down on C, so KO is there. We've got a player coming through Garage, which means we've cleared Garage. Is that player likely to have cleared Garage alone? No. It's Artis, so yes. But in most cases, this guy should have support. So now you're like, it's a C site play. But Durka's there alone with a TP to fall back out, so he's like, guys, just do you know what? Stack A.
The one-
Start going that side of the map, because I'll kill them if they come here.
I guess the thing is there, the knife is almost used to try and just find out where he is.
Yeah.
The fact that he's so ready for the next swing,
Come on.
and again! I'll see you later, Zipan. They're even going to throw in the Hunter's Fury to try and double up on this one. Oh, the shouted step actually away. But, well, Alpha just dropped the double again. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Oh, he's avoided being killed by, and 2 of his teammates are dead. So now Cider left on 70 HP with half his team gone, and a spike still to be retrieved. Surprised he didn't just get shot through the smoke there as he went to get the spike back. He has recovered it, but recovering this round is, that's a very different task.
Pushing. Oh, look at the amount of control they currently have. As if it wasn't enough already.
No chamber on the other side anymore. I mean, why not?
Oh, just look at Angel's position.
He's been hurt too.
He's dead. There's no way he gets out of this alive unless he just has some spidey senses. For a second, I thought he was going for a knife. Never mind. Boaster caught out a little bit here. Alfia taking the battle versus Cider. Spike on the ground. He's looking to close it with a showstopper, and he will do. FNATIC with an absolute decimation in map 2. And they're on the board here. Their first win under their belt. I don't think any are particularly surprised that they managed to take down a weakened FPX, but even still, a 13-4 on your opponent's map choice. FNATIC are here to play.
Oh, they certainly have earned that crown here in the EMEA. A well-fought first map out of FPX. That was their opponent's choice. And at some point, it looked like they were going to take it all the way. It looks like Alpha might be jumping the gun a bit on the celebration there. Gonna save that one for next time, buddy. Boaster saved the day. He's kept it hidden. I bet someone's got a screenshot of it somewhere, but after this second map being 13-4, I think there's no doubt this wasn't a series that could have went either way. FNATIC are the stronger team, at least in current form under current conditions.
Yeah, and you're looking as well at like Durka in the best of form. 372 ACS in this map, 400 in the last one. Like, though I think he's going to be leading the charge, but also the terrifying prospect is Alfia now coming into it. Second on the board, 279 ACS, performing well, and this is the 1-2 punch we wanted from FNATIC. The supportive element's still there alongside them. Boaster having a fantastic series overall. And the fact is, on this map, they look like a well-oiled machine, and FPX had nothing in response. I guess the silver lining for FPX, likelihood is they play the next game with their full team.
Oh, look, here we go.
What am I watching?
What in the world is going on here? Mini shrouding himself on the stage with the face of another FNATIC bowing down.
That is Shroud.
That is
yeah,
Shroud.
It is
yes.
Shroud.
Yes. They're bowing down to the North American gods, but well, there's
Now what's happening?
I'm not sure if
He's
that's
got to hide it for the photo, you know.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be some sort of imagery.
I love Alfia like trying to crouch down a little bit so that Mini doesn't look as small.
I appreciate
That's team play right there.
That's the kind of quality I would look for in a teammate.
Oh, he can't bend down that low. I'm sorry, man.
Fantastic performance here by FNATIC. Tom, the second map honestly caught me off guard. After that first one, I thought we're guaranteed a 3-mapper. We're guaranteed an interesting scoreline on that final map even, but 13-4. I mean, a dominant statement made on somewhere that FPX thought they had the best chance of taking it.
Well, it's a great sign as well. Like, let's be honest, you kind of want this team to be competing for the title. Of course, we got an MVP vote.
It's a tough one, Tom, isn't it?
I guess you could give it EMEA, other than Durka. That's the only one, but he did kind of just obliterate another team from EMEA. So you have one vote, really. It's Durka. Durka was the MVP. I'll save the desk, actually, handing that one out because, come on, whose time are we wasting here?
Yeah, especially after that last map, I think it's fair to say, and especially the first couple rounds, they were his rounds.
Even the 1v3 was so disgusting.
The confidence popping that tour de force right away when he plans. He's like, I know I've got this. This is all I needed. It was beautiful. Made it look like it was planned all along. A fantastic showing from FNATIC, and
yeah,
well, I'd be afraid to face them moving forward, that's for sure.
Why? I think that means that we're going to get them looking against Paper X.
Paper X, indeed.
It's going to be such a banger.
I hope that we get the bind that Bankai was talking about. He said FNATIC might be brave enough to pick bind up against them, and well, there's only one way to find out.
Save that for another day.
Exactly.
Another day. We're going to hand this one off to a break and then to the analyst desk. We're going to break down Durka.
This EMEA rivalry stretches back to the dawn of Valorant. They face each other 8 times, but this is the first time on LAN.
Nice. Nice, Hardest.
Woo! They're such nerds.
Spike down, B.
13-10 for FNATIC. They'll take the win here on their own map pick. It didn't look like they were going to get it, Tom. They made the comeback happen.
Oh, sorry. Need a moment. That was disgusting.
One enemy remaining.
Nice. In no eyes. That's what we like. That's what we like.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
Nice! Let's f***ing go.
FNATIC with an absolute decimation in map 2. A 13-4 in your opponent's map choice. FNATIC are here to play.
And that was the Prime Gaming post-match. Highlights. Now, it was EMEA versus EMEA in that match. EMEA came out on top, but I have good news for NA fans.
EMEA.
Good news for NA fans. Shroud made it. Sentinels, welcome to VCT. Let's go. But yeah, you guys gotta love the celebrations as well. I was really looking forward to that at the end.
Bolster's
Excellent
obsessed with an A, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Losing his head rent free, yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous.
They haven't even made it to an international event yet, and he's already afraid of Shroud. It's
Wouldn't
tragic.
you be?
It's tragic.
Look at this man. Wouldn't you be?
Bow down.
I don't know if I can
He's
do the rest of the
coming.
segment.
Bow
too.
down.
I don't know if I can do it, man.
Well, speaking of ridiculous, I know we spoke about Durka already in the halftime. We spoke about Durka in the pre-show. But this man just gives us reasons to speak about him. He just continues to pull out unbelievable things. I know in the pre-show, Baller, Tom said that, you know, the person that was going to pull out the craziest things, you know, you said it was going to be Jing. He was like, yeah, Trex is up there. It's Durka.
Yeah, it is absolutely Durka. This guy was fiending. In 17 rounds, he got 24 kills, 1.4 FPR. That is absurd. I mean, it's only one map here, but he did it on Icebox too, above 1.1 FPR. This guy is on track, and he started off strong, which a lot of other people who are in contention, yay,
Sure.
did not do that.
Sure. I mean, this is looking like the world-class performance we were waiting for out of Durka, and we didn't have to wait very long at all. He showed up, and he finds this success immediately in towards the tournament, and that's not to say the rest of FNATIC was slouching in this matchup, because Booster was performing fantastic. We know this guy steps up on land, and he sure did here. Alpha, even after that rough start, rebounded too. FNATIC is looking in peak form here, and I mean, that second map, FPX didn't look like they had a moment where they were in control.
That is the scary thing, is because Alpha was not having his peak performance.
No.
So once both of them are on their peak level, like we've been saying, this is a tournament contender.
Yeah,
this could be the time they actually win a trophy.
And I think we did see on that Haven map, especially that last round even, potential for Alpha to reach that peak form. And that is a very scary thought for these guys who everybody thought were contenders right away. We're possibly in conversation to be favorites as well.
Yeah, well, I mentioned a crazy play coming out of Durka. Let's take a look. This was probably the craziest thing that happened today in the Verizon high-speed moment. What a beautiful 3K Mimi that goes to Durka.
Yeah, I mean, Durka, this was an absurd moment. And this was the backbreaker for the side of FPX. They started actually pretty solid in towards this map. Durka wins this clutch round, and they don't win anything else after it. And I think we were saying on the desk, once he pulled out the tour de force, we just knew he's going to win the round. He's confident.
You can see it on the minimap the way that FPX was playing, but I love actually how we included him picking up the spike, because this was off of a round where they were hitting C and Spike was all the way back in spawn.
It was a calculated
Yeah,
play.
we talk about FNATIC as like the smartest team in the tournament. It's just too high level for you to understand. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's supposed to deep strat book, right? You mean when Alpha go kill was failing, you bring out the Durka go kill, easy peasy, and they
you
win
pull
the
out
match.
that three people die in a site, and then Durka go clutch.
The 1-2 step for Valorant Masters Championship.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. They're gonna sing their way through to the final, I feel like, at this point. But for FPX though, they're not out. They got to play the lower bracket, and it is going to be Guild. This is another EMEA versus EMEA matchup.
Yeah, unfortunate, but also pretty funny.
Okay, Baller. Okay. All right, let's hear from one man who is probably having a nice time today and representing EMEA and FNATIC. It is Durka standing by in the Verizon post-match interview with Sideshow.
Thank you, Yinsu. Durka, my bold brethren, congratulations on a fantastic performance. I want to start just off the bat. Walk me through what's going through your head in that 1v3 clutch where you decide to pop your tour de force when it was just a failed C push and you're alone on the site. What are you doing there?
Hello, happy to be here. Basically, I planned for long, tried to go like short with my Tour de France. Then I thought I maybe not have time. Then I hear them coming already. I'm like, okay, I'll just stay side, put TP on short. They start throwing reveal. They threw a bad one, of course. And then like Ardis peeks in, I kill him. I heard one heaven before. I pick him, kill, and then I just play for the bomb, and that's it.
Yeah, you were just so confident. You just knew you were going to win it, but as soon as you popped the ult.
Yeah.
I just love that level of confidence. Durka, by the numbers, you are the best LAN player that we have in Valorant. Every time you come to a LAN, you turn up. How did it feel to be playing on the stage for the first time this year after missing out in Reykjavik?
It felt super good because I missed Reykjavik and I really wanted to play there and show like what I can do. But I was like, okay, I'll just do the next event. Try to win the event, get to the champions, and just do my best that I can.
Was it painful to be sat on the sidelines and watch FNATIC stumble, fail in groups after you'd had a really successful champions and, you know, the first Reykjavik worked so well? What were some of the emotions going through your head as you were watching from the sidelines last time?
It was painful, yeah, but like after we lost, like we decided to change us, and I was like, okay, like I'm more confident in this, and like we can just do better next time. And it's just like unlucky circumstance when two of our players can play that one.
Okay, one of the changes that you made was adding Alpha to the team as well. Obviously, fantastic player. You two have both been number 1 and number 2 in EMEA. And Alpha took a while to warm up in this game. It was round 10 before he got his first kill. Were you sensing some nerves there, something a little off? Did you give him advice to get back into the game with you being such a great LAN player?
Well, yeah, he was probably stressed. This is his first LAN at a young age. And I think Boster gave him like a little motivation speech. Like before he got those first 2 kills, and like it all worked. But he's like a really young player. He does good stuff online, and like I'm sure when he gets used to LAN, he will just dominate everyone.
I've got one quick question before we send it back over to the desk as well. There's a big conversation about whether or not you're the best player in the world. Where do you stand on that topic?
Until I don't win, like I will consider myself best player when I win the event.
When you win the event, not if you win the event. I love the confidence. I appreciate it very much. That's Durka. He's just been insane. What do you think of that one?
It is nice to hear Durka back on LAN in the flesh outside of the hotel. And again, like the confidence he had, he said, I couldn't do it last LAN. I was just like, I'll just do it the next one. It's fine.
I didn't believe it was him at first. I thought it was just Josh and taller Josh. So
it was Tombiz. That was actually Tombiz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He must have had a fast costume change after the cast.
Yeah, he did indeed. And speaking of changes, of course, with FPX not being knocked down even to the lower bracket, and also, as you guys at home might have seen, they are going to come back in with Soigetu. This, Mimi, is the Cider send-off.
That it is. And for Cider, you know, he had a long road here. He had a good opportunity to learn, you know, coming up from the VRLs, making his way out of the dungeon from 0-7 in the VRLs to finding himself in a great position at the international stage. He has really been a standout. He got FPX to this point. He got them back to their full core, and he has earned his spot. He has earned his license to play here at the Tier 1 level. You love to see it out of him, and so I could not be happier to present to you, Cider, a certificate of graduation, a certification to play here at the Tier 1 level in Valorant. I mean, what an honor to get to see them growing up. They get old so fast, Yinsu.
Congratulations. Congratulations to Cider. What a best graduation ceremony I've been a part of. Hands down.
Yeah, this guy is performing on his first LAN, and I think coming in as a substitute player, it's just so good for him to get some value after, you know, he was stuck.
Yeah. I mean, they were 0-7 in VRL Polaris. He pulls up to the highest level of competition and is doing well. They make it out the groups. That's insane.
If
Big
that's
credit
not
to
proof
Cider.
that somebody should sign him up at the top.
Yes.
Someone get him out of the VRLs. Save this man.
Hashtag save Cider. Let's do it. Let's do it. We got this. And bringing it back to this match to close it all off, we have the in-zone player of the match. Twitter is back. It works. And what a moment for you guys to unanimously pretty much vote for Durka there, and very well deserved. I think first of many MVPs here.
EMEA got robbed.
Yeah, they did.
EMEA is always getting robbed. Have you seen the lower bracket? Don't, Baller,
We're
don't.
gonna get there.
Ball is just gonna
in
keep
NA2.
laughing, man.
Yeah, every single time. You just do it to yourself.
Some of the other players are in contention, I feel like. So it might not just be the Durka show, but who am I kidding? It's going to be the Durka show. Before we close out the show, let's take a look at the HyperX Reflex moment of the day as well, taking you guys all the way back to that first best of 3 when Forsaken did this.
I can't believe we had Paper X today. This is such a ridiculous shot. Look at this. Boop.
How?
He's already rotating. He's like, yeah, I'm going to dodge the flash. Wait a second. I can't dodge the flash. Let me just turn back and hit the flip.
Dude, I'm a goldfish. At that point, once I'm blinded, I've already forgotten where the enemy is. And he knows.
Yeah,
He knows.
He does
that
know.
team looked so good today
They
as
were
well with their
insane.
win.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the bracket right now, that means the next time we see Paper X and FNATIC play, they're going to be facing each other. We're going to get FNATIC, Paper X in the upper bracket. I'm very, very excited about that.
We say stylistic clash a lot, but this is like polar opposites. Paper X is insanely aggressive at every moment. You saw Forsaken just sprinting and somehow had over 20 kills and over 20 deaths in like every single game that they were playing. I think FNATIC, if there is a team to punish that though, it could be them.
I'm so excited that Paper X is one game closer to playing into the crowd. If they win this game against FNATIC, which is a tough task, either of those teams, they're going to play in front of the crowd, and that is so fun. The game's tomorrow, though. Leviathan, PRX. We also have Optic X at a rematch as well. That one is going to be fun to see the guys play on stage for the first time in NA. Cryo, Zek, and all those guys. Really, really good matchups tomorrow as well.
I mean, the NA matchup is going to be awesome, but I'm also just excited to see Leviathan on the big stage. These guys, I mean, they've been fighting to get out of their region for so long, always a step behind crew. They've finally done it. They're the first seed out of their region, and we get to see if they're up to the task here in the playoffs.
Yeah, we will indeed. That is all we have for today. And also, you guys just saw we got some very exciting matches coming tomorrow. Make sure to set your alarms and come back here for Valorant Masters Copenhagen. We'll see you then.